Talking Bentley baseball today here on NE10 Now, the podcast. We are joined by Steve Rizzuto, who, as we talk, is the conference leader in RBI. So first off, welcome and walk me through what's clicked for you here this season in Waltham.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having me on. No, it's been a great start to the year, halfway through at this point. But I think really most of the success has come from my preparation for this year in comparison to past years. I always dedicated time to working on my game. But I got to shout out my teammate Eddie Beauregard, and he's a great teammate, even better friend. In preparation for this year, he kind of pulled me aside. He said, "Steve, as did I. He wanted to get the most out of me to see the player I could be." And we put a lot of time in the past 6-7 months. I cut 20 pounds, added a lot of muscle, and then obviously both working on both sides of the baseball, day in and day out. And a lot of that is directly correlated to, I feel like, the success I've had. And then when it comes to RBIs, I feel like, that my approach in those instances with runners on base, it's no different than any other at bat. I think the kind of hitter that I am, it's more so just laid back approach, hands, and really all about having confidence up there. And, to start the year, I was working on more of a technical swing that I had worked on in the winter. And I did fine. I mean, there were good swings and bad swings, but I think I've gotten into a groove now, kind of going away from that and just, being an athlete at the plate, and again, having confidence in knowing that, I'm not going to get out in the situation. So I think a lot of that attributes to, the success I've had with the RBIs this year.
Let me go back to the off season. How'd you cut 20 pounds?
Yeah. It was really, I went from working out a couple times a week to every day, or at least 6 times a week, I should say. And a lot of that is, thanks to Eddie and his hardworking nature. It's contagious, and I really bought into that. He made sure to get me in the gym every day, and we would hit every day and work on my defense. And, I think just the compilation of all those things helped me, cut pounds. And I'm living at home this year, so obviously eating some home cooked meals, that helps as well. Not just that cafeteria food at Bentley. So yeah, I mean, my body is in the best place it's ever been, and it's really helping me, feel good going into every game, even 33 games into the year now. So
What is your mindset when you've got guys on base too? Because to drive people in, obviously you've got to get the hits, but obviously they've got to be on base for you to drive them in. But what's it like for you to go up to the plate and see, all right, I got a guy at second, I got a guy at third, and not put additional pressure on yourself to deliver in those situations?
I mean, I've obviously upped my situational approach to hitting this year, as the whole team has, and we've seen success with it. So like, for example, if there's a man on third, I'm thinking, if there's not 2 outs, I got to get the ball in the air here. Little things like that, but really back to just, it's such a game of confidence. And, once I started feeling good, I want those runners in on base for me, and those runs that I can drive in, because again, it doesn't matter what the situation is. It's more just knowing that, I'm not going to get out in this situation and hitting the ball hard anywhere. So, I mean, really, it doesn't change very much from having runners on to not having runners on, but there are those situational spots where I'm thinking, get the ball on the ground, hit the ball the other way, hit the ball in the air. But it's really just using my hands and kind of telling myself, be an athlete. So
Is this the best you've felt, like physically? Just, you talked about confidence in between your ears. Like, where are you at now versus anywhere else in your career?
I mean, easily the best I've ever felt. I've had, the way baseball is, I've had stints like this in past years where I've felt really good, but I've lacked consistency, I feel like, throughout my career. And I think my body being in better shape, and day to day having that extra energy and less soreness throughout my body. I've always had some hip problems stemming from playing a lot of hockey growing up. So being in better shape has fixed a lot of those things. And my day in, day out approach is able to, find more consistency, I think, because of that.
It's funny you say that though, because and part of it was the nature of the seasons, but you went like 3 years without not getting on base, uh, because of the end of 2020 through 2021 into 2022 and the early part of that season. What is it about your general approach at the plate? Be that a hit or just working a walk, getting hit by a pitch, whatever it is. What was it for you that at least during the course of one entire season, you always got on base?
Yeah, what's funny with that is I actually didn't really think about that stat or even know about that stat while it was happening. I think it was just keeping the same approach, knowing that, I got to get on base one way or another, whether it's to, get on the plate and maybe let it hit me or, however it may be, I had to get on base. And I think that thought process didn't stem from, knowing that there's a streak alive right now to try to keep that going. I think it was more, um, again, back to having confidence and having trust in my hands, and trust in my game. And it really is one of the best feelings in the world when you get in that box and um, you can't be defeated. And if when you're in those good places, even if you do strike out on a good pitch, you kind of tip your cap, and the next step at that you're in there, you're going to tell yourself, all right, nothing's changed. I'm still I'm still in that same spell of great baseball right now. So why change my approach, or why get down on myself? So I think having multiple at bats a game, I kind of stuck with that, and I would get on base, for that little period of time there, at least once a game, just doing whatever it took.
You mentioned hockey a little bit ago. You played hockey, you played golf, you played baseball in high school.
Yes,
I know it's a shot in hockey, not a swing, but what is what sport's your best swing?
I'd argue that golf might be my best swing. I played high school golf, and found a passion for the game of golf. And that's about the only thing I look forward to when baseball is all said and done. But um, I would say my golf swing. I think it came very naturally to me. I've never had a lesson or anything, and I'm an avid golfer, about a scratch golfer.
Are you the best golfer on the team?
There's a couple sticks. I think I am handicap wise though. One day or another, I might get beat, but um, overall, I think so. But that's a game. That's a game that I picked up late, and had a lot of buddies in high school that were on the golf team, and I never went the football route, and it was a fall sport for me. So I started playing golf and fell in love with it. Um, so I would say swing wise, I'd argue that might be my best swing, hitting that D stick.
Best feeling, nailing a drive, scoring a goal, hitting one out.
Definitely not nailing a drive. I think it's. I mean, scoring a goal. You get the chills depending on how big of a goal it was. But I think a home run. Just rounding those bases. It's a surreal moment. No matter whether it's, whether you're losing by 10, you're winning by 10. It was the game winning. I mean, hitting a home run, getting a trot around the bases, and it's just a great feeling. So I would say I would go with that.
Baseball obviously is a sport that has carried you into college now. So I do have to ask, how many people ask if you're related to Phil?
So my grandfather, he claims that there's a distant relationship that my parents and we don't quite buy it, but so I don't necessarily have a good answer for that when people do ask, but I do get the question. I do get the question frequently. And the older the crowd, the better they know Phil Rizzuto. So I will get it will get mentioned to me.
Do you at least know how to write it in cursive though, better than Billy Madison?
I do. I
Okay.
do.
Yeah.
I know there's these. Yes.
What got you into baseball?
Um, I would say I'd say I mean, depends how far back you want to look at it, but I would say my grandfather. He, from a really early age, um, Papa, what we call him, he used to take me to the batting cages, whether it be at a local park or extra innings, indoor, outdoor, it didn't matter. He would take me and my buddies from a really young age anywhere and just throw to us. Um, and I think in Little League I had a lot of success, and I did well back then at a younger age. So I obviously wanted to stick with it, and just fell in love with the game from a young age. But when it comes to like legacy or whatever, or my dad, nobody was really a big time athlete or baseball player. So I think I thank my parents, for always allowing me to play whatever sport. Help me become a well-rounded athlete. And baseball, golf, and hockey were the ones that I stuck with and fell in love with.
Did you grow up a Red Sox guy?
I did.
What's it like for you? I mean, how far is Belmont from Waltham?
8 minutes, maybe 12
Okay.
minutes, 12 minutes with some traffic from my house.
What's it like to play baseball in the city you grew up in, around the sport you grew up in, the teams you loved, being so close to home?
Really cool. Really cool. Initially I was hesitant on, being this close to home. I stayed on campus and off campus in Waltham for my 4 years, but so that was fine. At least I was, living the life of a college student, regardless of it being 8 minutes away. But that goes back to my grandfather as well. He's 91 years old and lives in Belmont. And because I play baseball here at Bentley, and it's just so accessible for him to come watch me play. He's my biggest fan. He's always been my biggest fan. And just the same for my parents and friends, and they're all able to come support me. So I think being so close and at such a great academic and beautiful university like Bentley, I think it's the best decision I've ever made.
What do you want to do when it? I know you still got time here, but what do you want to do when it all comes to a close?
So I actually am fortunate enough it was a weight off my shoulder, for the spring season right now. I was fortunate enough to intern for Risk Strategies Company, an insurance brokerage, out of Boston 2 years ago. And I've worked part-time ever since. And I have a full-time position lined up for September.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you. Thank you.
Before you get there, though, you're chasing down Franklin Pierce and Southern New Hampshire right now. Draw out for me how you want these last few weeks of your college baseball career to go.
I've loved every team I've been a part of here at Bentley, whether we've had success or not. But I feel like this year we got a really special group of guys. Everybody is bought in. And even though our record might not exactly show it, I mean, we've done well so far, but I think if we can, connect the dots, which I feel like we're going to down the stretch here, I think we can put ourselves in a really good place come the end of the regular season. And obviously in my final year like this, that'd be a really special way to go out. And when we're a well-oiled machine and we're going from both sides of the baseball, I don't think there's any team that can beat us in this league. So hopefully it all comes together now, and we could win the first conference championship in a long time, or maybe ever, I think, for Bentley University. So that'd be a pretty cool way to cap off my career here.
Steve, congratulations on everything to this point, and certainly best of luck pulling that off.
Thank you so much.